Right, well, I think it's fair to say it's been a challenging start to the new season. There hasn't been a game in the league where we've not conceded 4 goals yet, which is nice. Hello and welcome to part 98 of Backing the Boro. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we're at home against Exeter and then away against Crystal Palace, both in the Championship. That is a Championship that we are rock bottom of after 4 games, 4 defeats, and we've conceded 4 goals 4 times. It's rubbish. You saw the 4-0 against Burton on the first day of the season. We then lost 4-2 to Swansea, 4-1 to Derby and 4-2 to Leeds. So at least we're scoring goals here and there, but we're just really not very good. It is make or break. We actually tried a few different tactics as well, because straight after the Burton game in the last episode, the media were on my back again for being too rigid and not changing my tactics. I think it was against Swansea. We tried that one we didn't change and we lost again. See, it takes a little while to convince me. So against Derby, we tried a 4-3-3, so 4-5-1, 4-3-3 kind of dealy with a defensive midfielder and 2 wingers, Walker and Symes going out to be the wingers. And it was rubbish. We also switched to a 4-2-3-1 partway through that game, and that's when we got back into the game a little bit, and Walker scored and we looked okay, but it's still rubbish. So then we tried a full-on 4-3-3 for the next game with a flat front 3 of strikers, and that didn't work either. And then against Brighton, we used, what did we use? We went back to the 4-3-1-2, but that was a cup game. I don't know if Brighton are in the Premier League or not. Brighton are in the top half of the Premier League, so that's acceptable. We've moved around a little bit now, and you've heard me say this line before. I will say it again. If switching around to different tactics isn't improving performances, and it wasn't, and I know you're supposed to give it 5 or 6 games, at this point already 4 games into the season, we don't have 5 or 6 games to see if a different tactic might work. So I'm going to do what I've done many times before. If we go down, we're going to go down swinging, and we're going to do our 4-3-1-2 until we get relegated or fired or come out the other side of this bad run of form, because ultimately we know we're better than current results are showing us. Yes, we had a poor end to last season, but we had some really good patches of form last season, just before we lost the last 4 games of the year, we went 4 games unbeaten, playing against the likes of Villa and Ipswich and Sheffield Wednesday. We beat teams with 4 goals twice. We went on a rubbish run of form when we were already safe, and we've carried that into this season, so it's now 8 straight defeats in the league. Today's the day we turn it around against Exeter, and we're going back to the 4-3-1-2, but we're probably not going to have Symes in midfield. What have I done here? I think this is because I've changed the tactic, but not actually repicked the team. One moment. Right, that looks a bit more like it. So we've got Mitchell in goal, a back 4 of Taylor, Hughes, Flores and Lang. Taylor, I don't think you've met yet, so let's have a little introduction of Lewis Taylor. He's a 22-year-old Scottish left-back, 2.5-star current ability, 4-star potential. He's right up there with Anderson and Ball with regards to current ability. He's played 1 game. He was fine. We signed him on a free in the summer. We're trying things. We're trying different players, and he's one we're going to try today. Darwin, Davis and Barber are the midfield, and then Richardson is in behind Ruggles and Symes. Let's get into the game and hopefully find a way to get some kind of result. Surely, of all the games we're going to play this season, Exeter at home has got to be the one where, if we're going to turn things around, we turn things around. They're only 2 places above us in the league. They're comfortably the smallest team in the division apart from us. They're in poor form themselves. They're away from home. If we're going to survive, the comeback starts now. And I know it's only our 5th game of the season. That might seem a little bit dramatic. But if we concede 4 goals today against Exeter at home, then I think we're done already. There won't be any. I won't have the ability to get us back from that. And hopefully it won't result in me getting sacked, because remember, the board are just looking for us to battle bravely against relegation. I don't know if losing every game counts as battling bravely. There's a chance that, I guess, if we get 10 games into the season, 15 games into the season, we still haven't won a game, I could get fired then, in theory. I don't know what we'll do if I get fired. We haven't had to have this conversation for about 8 seasons. What was our old plan? Does my son take over? Do we end the save? What do we do? But if we go down with putting up a little bit of a fight, I don't think I'll get fired. So fingers crossed. I mean, we're already 1-0 down after 10 minutes. If they come and score again now, I just don't know what to do. I will be completely lost. It's the not having Sir Tom Elliott in the dressing room has ruined us. His inspirational leadership from the stands has kept us afloat for so long and allowed us to charge up these leagues. And without him, we are nothing. It doesn't help that Joe Anderson's not in the team. Joe Anderson has had a knock already this season. He might even be fit for today. I don't think I even checked. But he did have a knock. Perhaps we need him back in the team. Perhaps we need Sawyer back in the team for his leadership, although in theory, Flores is a better defender than Sawyer is. But then I guess current form suggests otherwise, because Flores has never been in a back four that hasn't conceded 4 goals. So perhaps he's not. Perhaps we need to get Sawyer back in. Perhaps it's time to switch the goalkeeper up. We've got all these young goalkeepers ready to come in and make the step up. Perhaps it's time to bin off Mitchell, because he doesn't ever seem to put any kind of fight up. And if we're going to lose anyway, we may as well lose whilst giving a kid some experience in goal, rather than playing a 34-year-old who, regardless of what happens, isn't going to be our first choice keeper in a year's time. So if we're going down anyway, we may as well go down whilst giving a youngster a season of championship experience. That seems like solid logic to me. And we're not really scoring goals either. We've tried different combinations of forwards. The one thing we haven't done is gone for Fisher and Weaver together, so perhaps we go for the Fisher and Weaver partnership. Although Matt Symes has just equalised just before half-time. He can hear that there's talk of him being dropped, and we're actually level in a game. At no point so far this season have we come from behind to do anything other than get further behind. So the fact that we've gone behind and then levelled things, that's progress. Even if we end up losing this game, we've made some progress today. That's better than what we've done at any point for the rest of the season. If we can go on and grab a win from somewhere, I'm certain that we'll build on it and we'll be okay. We can remember the Kev ratio. If we were to win this game and the next game, we're ahead of the Kev ratio, or level with the Kev ratio, and all of a sudden everything's okay. We'd have 6 points from our first 6 games of the season, and that's all we need this year. We just need to keep hitting that Kev ratio. But of course, if we lose it, then it starts to become more challenging, because like I say, I don't think there's going to be a team who we're better positioned to beat than Exeter right now. And Taylor, I wanted to say Anderson because I'm so used to it being Anderson at left back. It's Taylor plays it up, and with Symes holds it up nicely. It's back with Flores, who plays the ball forward to Symes. We've got men available in the middle, but the ball doesn't find either of them. Darwin picks it up and finds Richardson to Symes to Ruggles, and Ruggles makes it 2-1 in the 53rd minute. And both strikers have now scored under fear of being dropped. I'm certain they can hear me. I might drop the £1 million man, Miles Darwin, as well then. Let's see if we can have a good performance out of him, because really, we are still desperately missing Andrew Skelton. He got an assist for Derby against us in the game we played against Derby, and it was just devastating. He was playing on the left-hand side of their midfield with Darwin on the right side of ours, and he just had Darwin in his pocket the entire time. I absolutely would have much rather had Skelton than Darwin. Didn't have the option to. They wouldn't sell him. He's always going to be too good for us now. And now Taylor has given away a sloppy penalty that he didn't need to do, because the ball's already gone over the top of their attacker. There's no reason to foul them there. And Mitchell doesn't even need to make a save because they've missed it. That's the kind of miserable form Exeter currently find themselves in. We've got to beat this team, or I should resign on the spot if we lose today. Darwin plays it forward to Ruggles. Ruggles all the way back to Hughes, who plays it over the top, back to Ruggles again. It's the weirdest 1-2 in footballing history, but it does lead to our third goal. I don't know if we get the entire 1-2. Does it count as a 1-2 if it goes half the length of the pitch? So Ruggles played it all the way back to Hughes in our half, who lumps it over the top again for Ruggles to chase onto. It was effective, and he crosses for Barber, who nods it home. There's a lot of pressure on Alex Barber to be one of the men who maybe steps up into that Skelton position as the Mazzala, and he's got forward and got a goal for us today. He might be the man. He's been in and around the squad for a little while now. He wasn't exactly a regular starter last season because we had a lot of loans in and he was the one who often missed out. But maybe this is the year that Alex Barber says, actually, you know what, I'm your replacement for Skelton. Ruggles is through again and shoots a little bit early. If Ruggles had scored there, that would have been us scoring 4, and we could start to calm down a little bit. Right, Richardson isn't having a good game. James Ball is going to come on for him. And who else have we got on the bench? We've got Josh Sawyer on the bench, so we're going to bring him on for Flores. and make that change as well. The one tweak I have made to the tactics since going back to the 4-3-1-2 is to make the back four the same as the one we used with Arsenal in non-league to legend. So we've switched from central defenders to defensive centre-backs. I don't know if that's going to make it... Do they drop a little bit deeper, maybe? Symes is in now, and it's a big miss from Symes. It's our second clear-cut chance of the game. In fact, it's not registered as one. I would say that's about as clear-cut as they get. But I'm hoping by having them as defensive centre-backs, it means we don't have to go to the extent of dropping the defensive line back a little bit and putting that holding midfield player in. But it's still there as an option. We still have players who can drop in and do that if need be. Lang's on a yellow card. He's tired and not playing great, but the only way to get him off is to put Sawyer out at right back, which we haven't done since League 2. I don't plan on start doing that again now. We have got Jay Johnson on the bench who can come on for... Let's bring him on for Davis in midfield. And we could have just as easily taken Darwin off there, but I'm desperate for Darwin to come good. I've spent £1 million on him. I don't want this season to be known as the year we got relegated, spent money for the first time, and it was an absolute flop. I can already hear the Nuneaton fans saying... Well, this is it. This guy knows how to get us out of non-league, knows how to get through the lower leagues, but give him a bit of money to spend. He loses his head, wastes it on a player who's not good enough, and gets us relegated. And that'll be the footnote in my Nuneaton Town career if I get fired this season. I got money and wasted it, and I can't be that guy. Right, it's back to 3-2. Mitchell again, not really with it at all. We are still mugging Exeter at the moment. If there's any justice in the world, they equalise, but I'm not interested in justice at the moment. I want a win, and it looks like we should have got it unless they're going to score here with the very final kick of the game, and they are in behind past Lang. If they score here, it's so disgusting. Taylor heads clear. That must be it now, but it's still with Exeter. Do we get a whistle anytime soon, ref? Symes is back to lump it forward towards Ruggles. It's with ball. Symes is now clear, and he should have scored. And... I mean, it used up some time, at least, and we've won the match. Goodness me. It said in the commentary at the bottom there it's a huge result, and that is a huge result. We finally get our first win on the board for the season. It's taken us 5 games to do it, and we didn't look good doing it either, but it means we're not sat at the bottom of the league anymore, and we now go into the next game against Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace are any good. Where are they in the league? Crystal Palace, who are 3rd in the league and we're away from home. And we've got to try and get another win to get us to the Kev ratio for the end of the episode. Seems doable. We've just had an international break and we've used an old Football Manager trick. We've arranged a friendly we only have 2 players away on international duty and neither of them are first teamers. So... we were able to arrange a friendly with our entire normal first team, the team that played the last game, the team that's going to play this game. We played against Peterborough Northern Star, beat them 5-1, and hopefully having back-to-back wins now, albeit one of them a friendly, but we haven't lost now for 3 weeks. We've won 2 games in that time. Morale's slowly starting to improve. It's kept us nicely match fit as well. Hopefully we can take that into the Palace game where they've presumably had a few players go away on international duty, and we're still going to lose. We're away against the team 3rd placed in the league who are pushing for automatic promotion, but we're not making any changes to the team that's won the last 2 games now, and let's see if we can put up any kind of fight against Palace. It's going to be interesting to see how we've developed in the last year or so, because we played away against Palace on the first day of last season and we were competitive because we were just off the back of that fantastic couple of seasons, really. We were in great form, morale was at an all-time high, everything was good. A year on, looking at the team, most players have either been replaced with better ones or they've improved themselves. The only real place the team has been weakened is Darwin for Skelton, but it's not massively weakened. I think we should be just as competitive as we were last year, but we'll find out what a difference morale makes, I guess. And of course, the Sir Tom Elliott factor, the fact that he's not around anymore to offer his words of wisdom. Ruggles is in behind and crosses towards Symes, who misses a big chance. But we've had the first clear-cut chance of the game, and we've had a good opportunity there in the first 2 minutes of the match. And now Palace come up to the other end for their first chance from a corner, and goodness me, Mitchell's caught a football. I didn't know he knew that was possible. Here He lumps it forward. The highlight continues. I don't know which way this is going to go. It's with Hughes at the moment, but he has no idea what to do with it. Passes it back towards Mitchell. I was expecting a Palace player to be chasing through, but luckily they weren't. And it's now with Flores to Davies, Barber, and it's been intercepted again. Our fullbacks have both pushed on. Hughes was still out of position, and there's your Palace goal. I mean, they've had 2 clear-cut chances in that highlight. And it says Alex Barber should be blamed for that goal going in. I don't know if that's true. Yeah, I guess he has given the ball away fairly cheaply there, but way off in their half. I think what's actually happened here is our fullbacks are both pushed on too far. Hughes is over covering a fullback. And we were basically left with Flores on his own at the back. And we were punished for it. Simple, really. But we're not going to... Obviously, I'm not going to make any tactical changes to fix that, because that wouldn't be Kev's way. If we don't have our fullbacks pushing on, then we'll never score any goals, because that's where most of our goals come from. But it's a big ball over the top again, and it's 2-0. And I know you lot all think I should drop the defensive line back, but I've got all these promotions. We made it this far without having to do that. We finished mid-table last year without having to do that. I see it as such a last resort. And like I said at the start of the episode, if we're going to go down, I'd rather go down swinging. I'd rather give us the opportunity to outscore teams. We're not going to outscore Palace today, but looking at it the way we looked at the whole of last season, not trying to get too ahead of ourselves, when we're setting our results budgets at the start of the year and working out where we could pick up points this year, all the way along, Palace away is an L on our predictions. We're not budgeted to win this game, so let's lose the game. It doesn't make it. It would have been nice to pick up a win, but 13 minutes in, we're 3-0 down. We're obviously not going to win today's game. We're obviously not even remotely competitive against teams of this level anymore. Maybe this is where we bring in a diamond for games like this and just try and defend, but I don't know if I want to manage a team that goes away from home and defends, because I hate it when it happens in real life football. I'd rather go away and lose but trying to win, rather than winning trying not to lose. It's just Kev's footballing mentality, and I know lots of people disagree with it, but oh, I don't want to lose. I'm going to have to go against all of my beliefs in how football should be played, because I know I'm going to have to do it. Can you tell I'm having an internal conflict about this? Because I know you're right, but I know I don't want to do it, because I don't want you to be right. Ruggles has just scored. Here you go. Prove Kev's right. Let's outscore him. Let's win 6-5 or something ridiculous. Because I'd much rather give ourselves the opportunity to score a few goals away against Palace, rather than just trying to stop them scoring. Because the other end of it, of course, which you have to consider, is our defenders aren't very good. Our goalkeeper's not very good. It's all well and good going to places, putting men behind the ball and trying to defend, but that's only effective if you're actually any good at defending, because you're inviting the opposition onto you. They're going to get more opportunities. They're going to get more time on the ball. They're going to take more shots. And if we invite a team to take more shots and have more chances, we're going to concede more goals because we're rubbish. At least this way, we back ourselves to score more than them sometimes. And we're probably not going to today. But on another day, they perhaps only score 2 of their 3 goals. And maybe we have another one go in somewhere and we've gone in at half-time 2-2. And I don't think that ever happens when we go there to defend. Barber's having a really poor game. We're going to give him 15 minutes. And it's all down to the game blaming him for that goal. And I really don't see that it was his fault. But if the game is going to blame him for it, we'll take him off if need be. Here is Barber on the ball now to Richardson, out to Lang. I'm already feeling a little bit better after my first half breakdown. I can accept losing 3-1 away against Palace. I know they're probably going to score a couple more, but at least we've had a goal now. And as long as we score a goal in a game, then I know we've given it everything. And really, it's 5-3 on clear-cut chances. I know it's 4-1. 4-1 looks a lot worse than 5-3. But we've created 3 clear-cut chances away against Palace. At some point, we're going to start scoring our clear-cut chances again, and we'll start stopping them score some of theirs, at which point everything starts to come good again. But it's not happening away against Crystal Palace today. Right, I'm going to bring on Ball to play on the right-hand side of midfield. I'm going to make a Kev triple, I think. We're going to bring on Zach Walker. I don't think you've seen Zach Walker yet. No, I introduced you to him on the last episode. You have met him. And we are going to take off Miles Darwin. In fact, I'm not bringing on Johnston. I'm going to bring on Longdon. Didn't see him there. Bring on Longdon to play in the midfield as well. And we'll do a triple substitution. Dan Fisher's sat there going, seriously, you're not bringing me on in these circumstances? No, Dan, and the reason is because I want to see what Zach Walker's like. Once I've established if he's any good or not, then we'll give you some more game time again. You'll play soon, Dan, don't worry. But what does this do to the league? I mean, I think we'll survive. Yes, we're well behind the Kev ratio, but I think we'll have caught up with the Kev ratio by the 12th game of the season. I think we'll have 12 points by 12 games in, and I think that then gives us something to build on. It's 4-2 now. See, we're scoring goals again. Imagine if we get another one now and take it to 4-3. 4-3 makes it look like this was a competitive game, which it obviously absolutely hasn't been. But here's the opportunity, and it's Richardson. That's a terrible pass forward towards, I don't even know who that was. Who did we take off? Symes or Ruggles? They're basically the same person in my head. And Palace are going to score again here. And wow, they just played around us like we weren't even there. Oh, dearie me. This feels like the Tottenham game all over again. But when it was the Tottenham game, we had an excuse because they're a Champions League team. Palace are in our league. Well, they're clearly not in our league. But you know what I mean. They're in the same division as us. Yikes. Let's see if the media give me heat for going back to the 4-3-1-2. Because I'm not going to move away from it. The most I'm going to do is put in a defensive midfielder. But I think it just takes so much away from the attack. And I don't want to take things away from the attack. Let's see what the media have got to say. So we're back down to rock bottom of the league again, which I think that's a little harsh. There you go. We'll win these next 2 games. Let me know down in the comments whether you think I'm going to survive until the end of the season. There you go. They're not picking on me as a result of being back with a 4-3-1-2. So that's got that sorted. And the media is blaming it on poor finishing. And I agree. If we score our chances, we draw that game 5-5. And that, in Kev's world, is a good result. Goodness me, there's work to do. There is so much work to do. Oh. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.